Growing up, I learned that family is the smallest unit of the society. Now, well, it still is. The family is the nucleus of civilization, and for a civilization to succeed, the family must succeed. Indeed, the society has little to worry about if families produce citizens with the right values and education. This explains why May 15 every year is set aside to promote awareness on issues relating to families and to increase knowledge of the social, economic, and demographic processes affecting families with a view to resolving them and building harmony. Now, this year's commemoration, however, comes at a time when most parts of the globe are on lockdown as a result of the coronavirus pandemic. Now, while many believe this has helped to strengthen family bonds, there are still challenges to surmount. So, how significant is the family to contemporary society, and what are the challenges confronting families, especially at a time like this? And these are some of the questions we will attempt to answer on Nigeria Today. Welcome. I'm Victor Azu. Now, joining me to speak on COVID-19 and the Nigerian family is Dr. Lawmefor, a social and forensic psychologist. Welcome to Nigeria Today.
Thank you, my brother.
Also here with us is Jumai Akmadu, founder, Helpline Foundation for the Needy. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Let me begin with you. What is the place of family in today's society?
Thank you very much. Like you said in your introduction, without the family, it will be difficult for us to have a society because everything starts from that small unit of the society. And like you also said in your introduction, if each family produce a child that has all the necessary character that will enable him become somebody to be reckoned into society, it means the family has a very important role to play. Because if the parents are not paying attention to how their children grow up, it means when they grow up, education-wise, they might not be able to perform very well. And if you don't have the basic necessary education, it will be difficult for you to become somebody that society will look up to as somebody that they should always rely on when it comes to issue of decision making, policy making. So in a nutshell, the family is very important and an integral part in us having a society that we can actually call a very, very good society. All
right. Now talking about that role or those roles of the family, Dr. Lawmefor, what are the factors standing in the way of families playing these roles to society? How are we feeling that?
The factors are many. And first, if you look at the family from psychological perspective, especially the importance psychology and psychologists play, or place on what we call childhood. We consider the childhood as the foundation of life. If you get the childhood right, the adulthood will be an easy go. And to anchor the childhood is the family. That is where the problem really lies. So if you connect the dots, if you connect the two factors together, you can easily see the factors play out. You want to see that those who have certain rules are playing the rules. In a nuclear family, for example, you have the father, the mother, and then the children, when and where you have them. Essentially, the role played by the father and the mother are not exactly the same. The father plays the role of providing what we may call social security. He reassures the family and therefore symbolizes discipline, coherence. The father assures that there is hope, you can fall back on this as your last line of defense. The mother, on the other hand, plays the role of a nurturance and therefore love. So while the man is out there trying to ensure that he's able to give this family the assurance, providing for them, and being there physically also to intervene where it matters, the mother is playing her role also. So for me, these are the two most critical roles. And of course, the children themselves also playing the roles of children. This is fast disappearing. For me, today's child is almost no more, because when you're talking to a 2-3-year-old, you're talking to almost an adult. You wonder what has happened. So these roles played by parents in the family are becoming weakened by the day because of certain factors ranging from urbanization, pressure of economy, the inability of father, mother to play their traditional roles and play them properly.
Okay, let's hold you there.
Yeah.
Now, Jumai, we are in a situation where the world is suffering the devastating effects of COVID-19. Now, how much does the family suffer from this, and what should be the coping strategy, in your opinion?
Thank you very much. Apart from families who are not economically strong, I think this particular situation has brought out something which was really present in most family settings, apart from the family where the mother is always at home performing her traditional role as a housewife. But during this period, particularly the lockdown period, we now see that parents are at home with their children, which means we now have a situation whereby parents are now bonding more with their children. They get to discover a lot of things that they never knew about their children, because in most cases, either your children are in boarding school, you are at work, the ones in the day school, you drop them off in the school in the morning, you pick them up, you come back. But during this period, the children are at home. The parents, apart from some parents who are on the front line working, they now have time. This almost 2 months is enough period for parents to really know the kind of character their children has. So to me, if I have to take something away from the COVID-19, is the fact that family gets to bond together more than what they were not ordinarily doing in the past.
All right, we'll go back to psychology, Dr. Law.
Yeah.
What's the psychological impact of prolonged sit at home?
It's quite heavy. The good, the bad, the ugly. Bonding, yes. Well, we have had the opportunity to really bond, because we're not confined to the same place. And mother and the father who were claiming they never had the time, too much attention given to work and all that. Much of that was actually mediated by the pandemic, because the lockdown made all of us to really sit back and look at issues. Apart from bonding, character, for me, from my experience as a psychologist, both in practice and training, I have come to see character as destiny. The child, if you mold the child the way you should and the way you must, you get the right character, the right attitude, the right behavior. The pandemic was able to give us the opportunity to look at this, where we're getting it wrong. There were things we wished away. But now we had more time to look at those things. We can see our children at a closer range. We can see those frowns, on the faces of our wives, our husbands. We can understand what they mean now. The body language can now be understood a lot more. And we're responding to them a lot more also. This is on the positive side. There is, on the negative side also, the problem of anxiety, depression, anger, when you are not able to cope with the basic demands of the family. The issue of money has become a very clear problem in most families now, because the family resources are turning down. Parents are not able to do the much they could or they would want to do for their children. This brings on, because you don't want to see your children hungry and you can't do anything about it. It brings depression. It brings on anger. It brings on frustration. And the way we respond to all these things can impact negatively on our own health as well, as parents. Children themselves also can pass through the same phase, despair. They can see that really the parents want to do this and do that, but they can't. So the pressure is all round. There is greater understanding though, but again, I tell you, that for all intents and purposes, there is a limit to human endurance. There is a level it gets to. It gets to what we call the snapping point, and then people begin to negatively react to what is going on.
That's okay.
So that is the negative consequence of what is going on.
All right. Now, Haja, here you have scratched the surface a bit, in talking about what the gains should be within this period for families. But let's talk a bit more about it. How can families make the most of it?
Like I said earlier, this is the period where families should be able to identify each and every one of their children's character traits. Like the psychologist said now, there are some things that we overlook in the things that our children do, not because we don't have the time to really stay at home with them. But this period has availed most parents the opportunity to really stay with their children. Those who have the opportunity of having online classes, you can find parents now taking their time to go through these lessons with their children. They'll be able to discuss things that normally they never had the time to discuss with their children. Even talking about their children's career, all those things came into bear during this period. And I even saw some parents, fathers now, who even asked their wives to please just rest. You've been doing these things for long. I've not had time. Let me take up these roles for you. I saw on social media of a man that actually had his daughter behind on the back and he was sweeping for the woman. The woman was just cheering him up. These are the good things that came out of the COVID-19.
You will like that.
Yeah. Certainly I do. And we saw also a sitting governor in the kitchen cooking, and a senator also. I saw. So all these things are the good things that came out that normally, because of the strenuous nature of the work that most men do, they never had time to really stay at home to bond with their family. But this period of time, to me, every bad situation have a good side of it. For family, this avail every family, like I said, apart from those on the front line that are always in the office during this period, majority of the family had time not to really know what their children have been up to during the period that they were not always at home with them.
But how does this, trickle down or trickle into society? The effects that you consider positive now that families are reaping, how do they translate that to the well-being of society?
It means if ordinarily you never identify some negative character that your children are beginning to develop, you now have the ample time to tell them this is how you should behave so that you grow up to become a very responsible citizen in the society. If you need to really guide your children through their career path also, you tell them and guide them to be able to make informed choice on the area that they want to really go and grow, and in the area that they want to really become a useful citizen in the country. And you could also bring up some other leadership skills online. And I also discovered that there's a lot of platforms for children to learn some leadership and traits that they can become good citizens in society in the future.
All right. We've been talking about family and COVID-19. It's time for us to pause for a break, and when we return, there will be quite a lot more to talk about. Please don't go away.
The number of the COVID-19 cases in Nigeria is increasing daily, with many more tests ongoing. The battle of testing, isolating, treating, and attending to the affected persons rests heavily on the shoulders of our health workers, constantly putting their lives on the line and at risk to contain this virus, save and protect the lives of millions of Nigerians. To these health workers, we at the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, on behalf of millions of Nigerians, say a big thank you for all that you have done and are doing. To the security agencies enforcing the lockdown and every other frontliner, we say thank you for putting your lives on the line to save ours. There is no amount of words that can quantify our gratitude. Thank you. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Africa's largest television network.
All right, thanks for joining us. And if you've just tuned in, this is Nigeria Today, and we have been discussing COVID-19 and the Nigerian family. Let me go to Doc now. What should be the duty of families to the society at a time like this?
Well, The duties of the society, of the family to the society at a critical moment like this derives essentially from their traditional roles. First and foremost, we agree that the family is the smallest functional unit of the society. That's the basic definition, and that is what it is. You have to be a good one. It means that each family has a responsibility to play. Those who have roles to play in the various families, parents, father, mother, children, would have to ask themselves, am I really getting it right? Because once you get your own family right, and I get mine right, and the other person does, and so on and so forth, society at large, collectively becomes a wholesome one. If the family is not maximizing the opportunity provided by the pandemic, by negatively reacting to everything, they are not helping the society. If the family understands that if they stay together, they will go through, they will weather this storm easier together. By extension, they are reducing the pressure on the society itself. Because if the family learns to manage, for example, their little resources, and they are able to provide even a little they can spare to the neighbor and the people who are in need, even offering a shoulder to lean on is something significant. By so doing, basic counseling that you offer the neighbor's child, that you offer the neighbor, can go a long way in reducing the pressure on government, the pressure on the society itself. So the family certainly has a critical role to play. And that role, summarily, is getting itself together, getting its acts together, and doing the best it can, maximizing the opportunities. It's a kind of, should I say damage control? Maybe that's not the best expression. But the point is that we are in a situation where nobody really likes. It's a trap, so to speak. Because we are in it already, what well-adjusted personalities do is to make the best out of it. Okay. This is what every family must do, and we can.
All right. Now, Haja, how does a family know that it is getting it right? Is there a benchmark?
There's a benchmark because you discover if you're getting it right based on the reaction you get from your spouse, on the reaction you get from your children at any slighted opportunity of little provocation. If they don't overreact, it means everything is okay in the family. And like the psychologist said, if financially the family is not buoyant enough, this situation will put more pressure on them. And now they'll start thinking from this period, after COVID-19, what can we do to be able to get it right, to have some form of livelihood that can sustain us if we find ourselves in this kind of situation again. Because by January, nobody ever thought in general that we'll be in this situation now. So people were living their life as they were used to live. But now we'll find ourselves in a situation where we don't even know we are going to get out of it. But soon, by God's grace, we'll be out. And for the family to know that they have gotten it right is for them to see how, like he said, to come together, to see how they can bond together, to articulate ways that they will forge through this situation together and see how they'll come out of it victorious and say, yes, we passed through these things and we're able to come out of it with our heads up high.
All right. Doc, worst case scenario. Again, this tilts a bit towards psychology. A family has an infected member. What is the coping strategy? What should it be for them?
Yeah, it's a very hard one. And first is for the family to know that this is not terminal. It's very fundamental. Once the family understands that this is not death sentence, and they pull together, they will be able to support their member who is the one, really suffering it, to be able to pull out. Many people have recovered. the Nigerian experience, the death rate is nowhere near 10%. So it's not a death sentence. It means that you have more than 90% of the chances of one who is infected to come out of it victorious. Some people we know have actually come out of it victorious, big and small. So the family must not go to pieces because a member picked it up, understanding that they too need to know that leaving it to just one member of the family is bad enough. They don't need to give themselves up and aim to the point that everybody now picks it up and there's nobody strong enough to take care of the other. They must take all the precautionary measures advanced by experts, by government, by NDCDC and others who are given the authority to preside over this issue. They can, every family can, even if a member picks it up, they should pull together and be sure that they support that person not to give it. You know why? Many people who pick up the ailments of this nature that appear to be terminal, that appear to be hopeless, die more from depression, die more from hopelessness, learned helplessness, than from the sickness itself. So offering hope is the most essential drug that the family can offer their member.
All right, Haja. I was going to ask how, what should be the attitude of other family members to the particular family member who may have been infected?
Is to support them, because as it is now, we discover that so many people are even hiding and not even coming whenever it is that they have been confirmed to have this virus, and largely because of the reaction of the society and even at times immediate family member. A typical example is what happened in Ekiti State when a father said his son cannot come to his house because he traveled out of the state without his consent. That way he shouldn't come back. If a father can do that to his child, just imagine what will become of that boy if eventually is found to be negative. It means his immediate family is going to even ostracize him, which is not good. If we should all learn, like psychologists said, to see how we can, from a distance, give them all the support that they need. I remember about a particular patient that was in Gogola Specialist Hospital. His family were giving him all the support that they could give him, which also give him the strength to pull through on time. It makes it easier for him to pull through on time, because every day through somebody that was in the facility, they were always contacting him. His son actually wrote a letter to commend the health personnel that were looking after his father. So from a distance, because it's contagious, they said, agree, we must give them the support that they need, but we should learn how to do that so that we'll be able to protect ourselves, so that all of us within the family unit will not become infected and will not have anybody that we can lean on. So it's very important that immediate family and society support a particular confirmed patient, but from a distance.
All right, then I'm running out of time now. Dr. Lomefo, in 30 seconds, your final word.
Well, let's stay together. Let's bond together, not just families alone now. Society as a whole must bond together and keep fighting this pandemic to a standstill. We shall come out of it stronger.
All right, Dr. Lomefo, social and forensic psychologist. It's been nice having you on Nigeria Today.
Thank you. Thank you.
And an equal measure of thanks to Jumai Ahmad, founder, Helpline Foundation for the Needy. Thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
Now, Nigeria Today is live every weekday at 7:30 in the evening, and you can watch these and other editions of the program on www.youtube.com/NTA News 24 Hub. My name is Victor Azu. Thank you for watching.